Hi, I'm Craig from GigFaster. Welcome to GigFaster TV on YouTube. And today we're going to talk about how to write great lyrics. Welcome back. If you're listening to the podcast, go to Apple Podcasts, Google, whatever you're listening on. Be sure to give us a review. Give me a review on there, and also give a 5-star rating and subscribe. If you're watching on GigFaster TV, subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. And also you can also hit that bell, and then you'll get notifications when the next episode comes out. So working on it, trying to make all these things better with each episode. So your feedback is great. Thank you. Keep that coming. Email me personally. We send out a lot of emails, a lot of good information. So get on the list if you're not. You can do that at gigfaster.com. So today we're going to talk about how to write great song lyrics. And I've said this a million times in the past that you have to, when it comes to songs, you write, you rewrite, and you rewrite, and you rewrite. And if you can collaborate with people, that's great. Like right now is just a great time to collaborate with the internet the way it is. My last few albums, I've actually used musicians from around the world. I didn't even know where they were for one of the albums, and they were actually on the other side of the planet. I would go to sleep. I'd send them my sample, and I'd want, like, say, drums, bass, some Hammond in it or something, and I would wake up the next morning. I mean, this would be late at night for me. I'd wake up the next morning and they were sending me the tracks back, which is like amazing, and it just added so much to the song. So if you can collaborate with people, that's great, especially, like I say, nowadays on the internet and everything. It's just so good. Number one, before we even get into the actual 5 things that I have for you, is that, you got to be willing to rewrite songs. And writing a song, I mean, it's just like an artist. You can say, like, oh, well, there's no rules to writing a song. Not necessarily, but great artists and great musicians and great songwriters know that the more you do it, the better you get at it. So that's what you need to do. First and foremost, keep writing and writing and writing and writing. So I want to give you 5 quick things you can do to write great song lyrics. And part of this came out of another article that I had written, and you can check that out on the blog.gigfaster.com. Go. I'll put it in the show notes for this one. And it's kind of came out of Songland, like some of the information that, I mean, it's a great show if you haven't watched that before. It gets these music producers together, and then they can take the song to a totally different level. And there's another podcast, an article on how to be a music producer. You can check that one out as well. So number 1 is be specific. And that, just to give you an example, like John Mayer, I love John Mayer lyrics, and he's really specific with what he says. In other words, it's not abstract. And, like, for example, he says, "We bit our lips. She looked out the window. Rolling tiny balls of napkin paper, I played a quick game of chess with the salt and pepper shaker." Like, you can visualize that. I talk a lot about songwriting and being relational, so that people can relate with it. Well, like, I can see myself sitting there in this diner or whatever, and she's rolling up tiny balls of napkin, or maybe I am, and playing chest with the salt and pepper shaker. Just like such cool. It's so vivid. You can see it, So be specific whenever you're writing your song lyrics. Number one. Number two, don't use big words. And I know sometimes it might be cool to throw in like a big word that other people might not understand. I'm thinking of Men at Work Down Under is like a Vegemite sandwich. Like, I guess Australians knew what a Vegemite sandwich was, but I didn't. I mean, I'm just thinking like this is a word that some people, you could throw one in here and there. Like that's just something different. They all knew it. That's fine. But like, you want something that rolls off the tongue nice and it makes sense and people can relate with. Most people don't have college degrees and PhDs. And if you talk like that, then you're not going to be understood. You should write at an 8th grade level. That sounds like degrading to people. It's like, whoa, I graduated high school. I can speak better than an 8th grader. Well, yeah, but we're talking about lyrics and communication. And, if you're learning a language, Spanish or German or something or whatever, like the key is to be able to communicate with somebody. You don't have to be a perfect, grammatically perfect speaking person. You just need to be able to communicate. And I think John Mayer with like that line that I read is just like, it's just great. I just love that. I love those type of lyrics, and I think that makes a song great. Anybody can relate with it, and it's so clear. So don't use big words. Number 3, keep it consistent. And I know I'm guilty of this when I'm like with the first version of songs. When you write it, it's just like you're just kind of getting your idea down on the paper, and then that's what a great music producer will come in, and they'll come in and they'll look at your lyrics and be like, yeah, okay, I kind of see where you're going with this, but then I'm a little confused, like, because you're thinking, it's your vision of something. You're thinking of something else instead of keeping it focused and consistent. So keep the theme of the song consistent so that we know exactly what it's about. This John Mayer song I'm talking about is called My Stupid Mouth. And I mean, who can't relate with that? Well, I can. Heck, half the time words come out of my mouth and my brain's like, wait, why did you say that? You were thinking this. I'm not even joking. But anyway, be consistent. And along with being specific and not using big words, don't be too abstract with what you're trying to say. Like you're trying to paint a picture. You're showing rather than telling. It's kind of hard to describe that, but a great song is going to keep you interested in it longer. Okay? So if people don't know what you're talking about, like if it's too vague, then you might lose them. Or, on the other hand, I mean, it's totally subjective, so it's one person's opinion to the other. I'm just, this is my opinion. These are my opinions. So that might be something great because somebody could take it one way and you actually wrote it another way. And I know that has happened several times where some of the artists got really mad because they're like, wait, that's not what I meant at all. It's kind of cool because they meant what they were saying was really bad. And I mean, they were being just negative and evil and stupid. And other people said, oh, this is such a positive song. Because they saw how it could be a good thing. And I thought, oh, that's great. I love that. I love whenever you take something that's meant for evil and it's used for good. That's the way. I love that. That's great. So anyway, don't be too abstract unless that's what you're going for. But I say try to be as specific as possible. So, and this goes back with right when I first started, and I was telling you about this, is that really you need to write every day. You can't go a day without writing. Okay, like you can take one day off, I guess, here and there, but like you got to be constantly thinking about it. Like before you know it, think about that. Like let's just give yourself a goal. Let's write 10 songs in this month. Write 10 songs the next month and the next month. Look, if that would be 120 songs in a year. And let's say you only hit 70% of that. That would be like 96 songs in a year. Let's say you hit 50% of that. You got 60 songs. And I'm not saying like garbage songs, but like, I mean, you're writing them and trying to rewrite them. Now you got all these parts that you could put together. You might take 10 songs and make one great song. So my 5 tips for writing great songs. Now go out and do it. Be persistent and you will succeed. Most importantly, never quit. Now look, I know that you guys work hard on your music, writing your songs and rewriting your songs and being persistent with it. I mean, that's my hope. I know you're out there hustling because I see it. I see it on GigFaster with people like they're on it a lot. They're hustling. They're trying to get someplace with their music, which is great. It's not easy. But that's why I created GigFaster, to make it easier on you to book gigs, to promote your music, and to submit your music to record labels. So after you've written all your great songs and you've done all your hustle, like get some notice for it, get recognized for it. Go to GigFaster, check it out. I'm Craig from GigFaster. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.